A very good morning to all of my dear students and all the faculties present here, and especially our guest, Dr. Sarada Prasad Datta. Oh no, my voice is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today, Department of Commerce, THK Jain College, has organized the Student Enrichment Program by focusing on business laws for the development of our students, especially for the first semester. And this has been possible by the inspiration of our adorable principal madam, Dr. Moushumi Singh Sen-Gupta, and by the support of our governing body, suggestion by the head of the department, Dr. Ashit Kumar Mondol, and also the cooperation of other faculty members and also the non-teaching staff of this department and other departments. We are very glad to have an honorable person like Sir to the present here, and a very warm welcome, Sir, on behalf of Commerce Department, THK Jain College. So now let me introduce Sir with you. Dr. Sarada Prasad Datta is an eminent educational personality in educational field. Now, he is the head of the Department of Commerce Department, GMSM Mahavidyalaya under University of Calcutta. And he is also associate professor. He has completed his graduation with honors in accounting and finance from Hirambo Chandra College under the University of Calcutta, and completed master degree with specialization in accounting and finance from the University of Calcutta in the year 1999, and he has obtained first class and joined Gaur Mohan Sochin Mandal Mahavidyalaya in the year 2003. He has awarded Accounting Technician Certificate from the Institute of Chartered Accountant in the year 2002, and he has completed minor research project of UGC on performance appraisal of public health sector, a study of Medical College Hospital in Kolkata, and also awarded PhD degree from the University of Calcutta in management. At present, he is attached with various postgraduate department of different colleges under University of Calcutta, and he is also associated in other colleges and universities, especially in St. Xavier's College, Shibpur B College, and Vidyasagar University. And also he is associated with the Commerce Department of University of Calcutta and Electrical Engineering Department, Jadavpur University. He has presented lots of papers in different national and international seminars, and he has made valuable contribution in different journal at national and international level. However, now I would like to request Dr. Sarada Prasad Datta to start his session emphasizing on business law and overview for the students of first semester. Over to sir.
Thank you, Chaitali, for nice brief introduction. I am sharing the screen right now, okay?
Okay, sir.
চৈতালি স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে?
I said your screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Raja, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start. শোনা যাচ্ছে তো রাজা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার একদম
Okay,
ক্লিয়ার।
so first I convey my sincere thanks to the principal of THK Jain College for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and ideas on business laws. And along with Principal Ma'am, I also share my sincere thanks to the management of the THK Jain College, and also convey sincere thanks to the faculties and the teachers who give me this opportunity to share few words in this platform. Now, let's start the journey of business laws. An overview. This presentation target the preparation of the semester 1 students. So it will help you a lot for your coming exam. But first, we should know what is the basic meaning of business. We know that the basic definition of business can be expressed in a very simple equation, and it is known as that business is the summation or total of industry, trade, and commerce. And we all are aware of that. We organize, we monitor, we regulate the business in the social domain. So in society, we need different law to regulate in the industrial, trade, and commercial area. So actually, it is a wide spectrum of the business law, which includes industrial law, trade-related law, and commercial law. Actually, in your professional curriculum, if you find that the business law curriculum is huge, it includes various industrial, trade-related laws and commercial laws. But in your undergraduate curriculum, few brief manner. Just remember that few heads I am now mentioning to you, which are very important for your current exam purpose. Raja, it's audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
fine.
sir. You are audible.
You'll find that in your first unit, the university specify that meaning, features, and kinds and essentials of valid contract. So in this portion, the types of contract is very important for your MCQ purpose. You will prepare on the basis of performance, which are contract. So you need to specify. Along with that, various elements of contract, like essential elements of contract, you are aware that offer, acceptance, consideration, consent, these are the valid essential elements of contract. This is also very important for your exam purpose. Particularly for this year, offer is very important. So please remember offer. Along with that, types of consideration. I repeat again, types of consideration. In your syllabus, also specified that no consideration, no contract. So you will prepare which are considered as no consideration, no contract, and which are the exception to the no consideration, no contract for your coming exam purpose. Along with that, in the point number D, you will find consent, free consent, coercion, undue influence. In this part, free consent and mistake is important. In next F part, void and voidable agreements is again very, very important for your current exam. If you find in almost in the last all the semester from this part, a single question framed from void and voidable agreement, which are considered as void agreement or which are considered as voidable agreement with example. This is very important for again for MCQ purpose. Then different types or modes of discharge of contract again important. And finally, from the specific contract part, the quasi-contract bailment is again important for this year. In the Unit 2, you will find the Sale of Goods Act. And apart from that, at the end of this presentation, I'll give you an idea of what should be the MCQ paper of the current semester. So just keep in mind that from the Sale of Goods Act 1930, from the first part, contract of sale again is very important for current year, and you should remember the difference between sale and agreement to sale also. And the second part, condition warranties, is again important from your curriculum. And finally, unpaid seller, almost in the all last semester from unpaid seller, a question has been framed. Again, from partnership, the definition and features of partnership is important for your upcoming examination. Along with that, dissolution of firms is again important. We know that in our current semester curriculum, limited liability partnership is the new inclusion compared to the previous Calcutta University curriculum. So in LLP domain, you remember what is the definition of LLP as per LLP Act, what are the advantages and disadvantages of LLP and differences between LLP with the partnership and company. This should be keep in mind for your exam purpose. And in your Unit 4, you will find Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. The definition, features, and types of negotiable instruments like promissory note, bill of exchange, check. I will explain these are on later. Endorsement is again important for the current year and discharge of negotiable instrument. And when you are going through your textbook, please keep in mind, please go through only the university specified heads, not anything else other than the syllabus. The MCQ syllabus will be very restricted, keeping in mind the syllabus. Now, the most important part, the Unit 5. During this pandemic, Calcutta University amended the Consumer Protection Act syllabus, which is 1986, now it's 2019. So keep in mind, you should go through the Consumer Protection Act 2019. In this presentation, I also give you some idea of 2019 at the end of this presentation. So objectives and features of Consumer Protection Act 2019 is very, very important for your current examination. And other various concepts which has been included in the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Now, some student may ask a question, sir, why 1986 has been amended? In your curriculum, Calcutta University specified that when the previous act has been repealed, then the new act should take place. That is the provision I given in the end of this curriculum. And owing to the spirit of this provision, the Calcutta University amended the Unit 5 and Consumer Protection Act nowadays in our curriculum should be read in the spirit of Consumer Protection Act 2019. And you were already aware of this marks pattern. The 20 marks will be from internal assessment, class attendance, and internal examination. I expect this internal examination already completed in your college, and the 80 marks will be for your final examination. Now, what should be the recipe for the best answer? You are already aware that nothing to be written in this examination, like only you need to write A, B, C, D in this manner. But to answer this MCQ, few very important points to be noted. First, line to line study is always helpful for MCQ answer. Line to line study. If you missed out any paragraph which is included in your curriculum, it may possible that from that paragraph or from that head, a MCQ may be framed. So keep in mind, line to line study is always helpful for MCQ answer. Brief answer as per act and to the point. Prepare small answer for yourself to answer MCQ in the final examination. Nonsense stories and trial and error are not allowed. चलो ABCD में C को हम आंसर बना देते, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, ठीक है? So you need to very specific which should be your answer, and you should remember that university for this purpose endorse a very strict regulation. For negative marking, your points may be deducted. So keep avoiding negative marking for that. Always try to remember proper section, subsection, clause, subclause, and examples and explanations also. Say, what should be the section for Indian Contract Act? Section 2A, 2B, 2C, or 2D? The answer should be section 2H. So, if you remember section 2H, you can answer this MCQ. I give you another example of MCQ again. Section 2A of the Indian Contract Act defined proposal, promise, contract, or acceptance. The answer is proposal. Section 2A of the Indian Contract Act define proposal. So specific definition and sections is always very, very important for your MCQ purpose. If you are not confident about act and section, then it is better not to try it. Okay. Then for your final exam purpose, charts and diagrams should be followed. Just prepare various charts and diagrams in a very brief manner, and it will help you a lot. Many books nowadays introduce various charts and diagrams, which is very much helpful for the students. So go through the charts and diagrams, which will help you a lot. Answer might be in the light of enacted act along with amendments. Sometime you are going through the MCQ bank books. These are some old backdated MCQ also included in the 500 or 1000 MCQ. These are not updated. I give you a very small example after that, that Indian Contract Act included in nowadays Jammu and Kashmir, but in your MCQ bank you will find it gives excluding Jammu and Kashmir. So always remember, it is better to follow the amended recent textbook for your exam purpose. Now, for doing best in MCQ, you should follow the principle of tome and top. Now the question is, sir, what is tome and what is top? Tome stands for technique of memorization. I repeat again, technique of memorization and TOP stands for Technique of Presentation. The law syllabus is quite huge, so it is better to memorize in your own fashion, and it should be presented in your MCQ paper briefly. So it needs a lot of attention. That's why I'm mentioning TOM and TOP are the two important tools for your best performance. Read the conceptual aspects behind enactment of Act, understand the Act and rules chapter wise. Only going through the MCQ will not help you to answer the best. It is better to go through the conceptual aspects and the Act and the law line by line. Try to remember the chapters or parts or rule and its scope, including which section it started and where it is ended. After remembering the chapters, start remembering the sections associated with the chapter. What are the important chapters given or sections given in the introduction of the contract? Say section 2H, 2E, 2A, 2B. These are the important part in the definition part of the contract. In case of bill of exchange, section 4, 5 and 6 is the very important. It includes the definition of promissory note, bill of exchange and check. So that should be keep in mind and make a list of important and unimportant section and keep reading the section periodically. Next, for a good score, not only MCQ and not only study will give you the best result. The principle is love it or leave it. You need to love your subject. You should have some passion on the subject. Either you love it or leave it this subject. हरिवंश राय बच्चन का एक शेर आ गया इस बार, समझ समझ के समझ को समझो, समझ समझना भी एक समझ है, समझ समझ के जो ना समझे मेरी समझ में वो ना समझ है. So the passion for the subject or the love it should be remembered before your preparation. Most important is having interested in the subject. You want to remember section. अगर इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, अगर लगाव नहीं है, तो सब्जेक्ट कहीं भी तुम्हारा दिमाग में नहीं आएगा. So इसके लिए आपको इंटरेस्ट और पैशन डेवलप करना जरूरी है. Keep discussing laws with your classmates, friends, teachers and parents. It will help you a lot. And if it's an examination in case, write the sections on wall or keep it written somewhere. Quick looking at the wallpaper of your phone also. It will help you a lot. Now, this is very, very important for your current examination. I found that most of the book not yet included this provision, but it is very important for your exam purpose. You are already aware that the central government, by the order of our Amit Shah, as per Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, all central laws on and from the appointed date, the date is I given 31st October 2019, shall apply in the manner as provided therein to the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh. That is given in the section 95. Please remember that Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act section 95 not included in your syllabus, but section 95 of this act says nowadays from 31/10/2019 onwards, the Contract Act includes in the Jammu and Kashmir. Previously, it excluded the area of Jammu and Kashmir. So, a Contract Act includes Jammu and Kashmir area. Again, Sale of Goods Act, Partnership Act, and Consumer Protection Act come in this purview. But LLP Act, with the help of your LLP Rules 2009, already included in the area of Jammu and Kashmir, a Negotiable Instrument Act after 1956, the extension of Jammu and Kashmir Act included the Jammu and Kashmir. So all your important act in your business law, all are covered in Jammu and Kashmir. This is very important for your exam purpose. Please remember it. Next, almost your syllabus is uh, dominated by this Mother Act, Indian Contract Act 1872. Actually, if you go through the Indian Contract Act 1872 carefully, you may score almost 50% of your MCQ answer. I'll give you the example why I'm saying this. So this is the most important act in your curriculum or in your syllabus. And from Indian Contract Act 1872, almost various important business laws are originated in the later on. I give you some idea. In my previous slide, I give you that sometimes the charts, diagram, table help you a lot. Now, this is an example that how this table help you a lot for preparing very quickly for your MCQ purpose. The Indian Contract Act 1872 had a wide scope and it includes section 1 to section 266. Actually, the Indian Contract Act divided in two parts. Part 1, general principles of contract, and part 2, special kinds of contract. Both are included in your curriculum. General principles of contract includes section 1 to 75, and this act has been introduced in the year 1872, 1st September. So again, it's important for your MCQ purpose. General principles of contract includes in section 1 to 75, 76 to 123, 124 to 147, 180 to 238. The answer should be 1 to 75. Again, another example of MCQ. The Indian Contract Act introduced in the year 1872, 1930, 1932 or 2013. The answer should be 1872. The Contract Act 1872 introduced in 1st September, 1st July, 1st October or 1st November. The answer is 1st September. So this table help you a lot for preparing your MCQ purpose. Now you'll find that in the part 1 of the general principles of contract, the Sale of Goods Act also included before 1930. It includes section 76 to 133. In the year 1930, the Sale of Goods Act actually originated out of this Indian Contract Act, and in the year 1930, 1st July, a separate act designed and introduced in India with the name Indian Sale of Goods Act. I repeat again, Indian Sale of Goods Act 1930. But in the year 1963, the word Indian dropped. Nowadays, the act is popularly known as Sale of Goods Act. So it is again the originally a part of Indian Contract Act 1872. Next, the part 2 of the Contract Act gives you the idea of 3 different types and special kinds of contract. Number 1, contracts of indemnity and guarantee, which include section 124 to 147. Then contracts of bailment and pledge 148 to 181, and contract of agency is not included in your syllabus 182 to 238. I already mentioned in the previous slide, you should also remember which are important for your exam. So you do not remember what are the provision given in 182 to 238 or contract of agency. This is not important for your exam purpose. Next, it's also include the partnership before 1932. Section 239 to 266 originally included in the Indian Contract Act 1872. At that point of time, the lawmaker decided to separate section 239 and 266 from the Indian Contract Act, and they introduced a new act with the name Indian Partnership Act 1932 from 1st October 1932. So Indian Partnership Act and Sale of Goods Act all are originally included in the 1872 Contract Act. I already give you few ideas of MCQ on Indian Contract Act through my presentation in the last few slides. Now, for your coming examination, these are the points or important area for your MCQ. First, definition with sections. I give you slowly few examples like Sir Frederick Pollock has defined every agreement and promise enforceable at law is a contract. So in your examination, the MCQ can be framed in two ways. Either they may ask you who give this definition, Frederick Pollock, Salmond, William Anson, or Maslow. The answer should be Frederick Pollock. Or the Frederick Pollock has defined the definition. They can give you 3 or 4 definitions. The right definition which are actually given by the Frederick Pollock need to be identified. And for that, you need to go through the line by line study of your curriculum, keeping in mind the syllabus. Again, another example of definition and sections, you will find that according to William Anson, a contract is an agreement enforceable at law made between 2 or more persons by which rights are acquired by one or more to act or forbearance on the part of the other or others. Again, the according to William Anson, that is the important word to be remembered to specify this MCQ. In the point number 2, I give you types and examples. The Indian Contract Act gives you the idea of different types of contract. Different types you will find in your any textbook. According to validity, the contract can be valid, voidable, void, illegal, and unenforceable. Repeat again. According to the validity of the contract can be valid, voidable, void, illegal, and unenforceable. Then, according to the formation, the contract can be express, implied, quasi-contract, or tacit, or e-contract. So, the MCQ paper may include a question that according to the formation, the basis of classification, contract should be A, B, C, D. You need to identify which are according to the formation. Or there may be a question, possibility that which of the following is not a type of contract according to the validity. I repeat again, this is quite tricky, but you will answer, this answer can be very simple. Which of the following is not a contract under the validity basis of contract classification? The answer is valid, voidable, void, and quasi-contract. The answer is quasi-contract is not a type of contract under validity basis. And apart from that, in your syllabus, you will find various chapters, different essential elements are specified. So essential elements are given according to section 9 and 10 of the Indian Contract Act for contract, also essential elements for consideration, essential elements for coercion, mistakes, and in various heads. These are the important heads to be remembered for your exam purpose. Next, the case laws. Nowadays, students are believe that case laws is not important for your MCQ purpose. But I'm sorry to inform you that, dear students, in the last almost all exam, Calcutta University specified almost one or two questions which includes case laws. Okay, so case laws with the relevant head and the purpose should be remembered, and it is very important for your coming exam also. Next, date of introduction of the various provision. I already gives you an idea in my last presentation. Again, applicability is applicable nowadays in the Jammu and Kashmir, and apart from the geographical applicability, the applicability in the area of the business domain in the various section and the in the legalities is very important for your MCQ preparation. And finally, the scope and objectivity along with advantage and disadvantages of various heads is very important for your MCQ preparation. And finally, the practical problems are also very important. You'll find that in the last 5 or 4 years, various practical problems given in your examination. Okay, say A offers a car for sale to B. This is a specific offer. This is a general offer. This is a hidden offer. None of the above. The answer is it is a specific offer because A specifically offered this sale to B only. But when a stationery shop disclose the price of the various product, or a sweet shop gives the price tag of the various sweets in the shop, it is a general offer. It's not a specifically for X, Y, and Z. It's for all purpose. So these case studies help you a lot. X requested, I repeat again, X requested to Y to purchase the Mars for him or her. This is quite impossible. So this is not quite possible. So that cannot be a valid offer or a valid contract or agreement. So these case laws and practical problems, again, very important for your exam purpose. And you will find small case laws, practical problems are given in many textbooks for your exam preparation purpose. Next, I move on to the next unit, the Sale of Goods Act 1930. I already told you that this act also originated from the Contract Act 1872. And this act, the Sale of Goods Act, applies only to movable goods. So for your MCQ purpose, remember the word movable goods. Other than auctionable claims and money, and not to immovables, which are governed by the Transfer of Property Act 1882. So from this paragraph, many MCQ can be designed. Only apply to dash, movable, non-movable, specific, non-specific. The answer should be movable goods. Again, the auctionable claims means a debt or a claim for money, and money means legal tender money, that is currency of the country. Okay, so Sale of Goods Act very specific for this definition. According to section 4.1 of the Act, a contract of sales means a contract where seller transfer or agrees to transfer the property in goods. In Sale of Goods Act, the types of goods can be explained in three heads. Again, for your examination, this is very important. The Sale of Goods Act classified goods in three heads: existing goods, future, and contingent. And existing goods also subdivided or classified in another two heads, that is ascertained goods and unascertained goods. I repeat again, existing goods again subdivided in another two heads, ascertained goods or unascertained goods. The ascertained goods, also known as specific goods in Sale of Goods Act. The ascertained goods, also known as specific goods, and unascertained goods, also known as generic goods. Thus, I repeat again, Section 4.1 of the Act, a contract of sales means a contract where the seller transfer or agrees to transfer the property in goods. The goods can be existing, future, or contingent to the buyer or price. So, by this para, we are aware of the basic elements of the sale of contract, which are: you need a buyer, a seller, point number two, number three, a specific price, and definitely a movable product for this transfer. Thus, a contract of sale may be of two types. Remember, number one, sale, and agreement to sell. Okay, I'm just highlighting very few important areas of the Act because this 1.5 hour, it's not possible for anyone to cover all the heads, but keeping in mind your coming examination, I am highlighting few only specific areas. Next, the limited liability partnership and general partnership. You are already aware of that. The LLP is the new inclusion in the Indian law map from 2008 onwards. Actually, you will find in your also semester 2, coming semester 2, that in company law, the new company law introduced in the year 2013. And from 2013 in and around, the lawmaker tried to actually centralize different concept of business entity under the same canopy of the corporate form. So the partnership form of the business also dragged to the LLP form, which is almost under the corporate style of functioning. Again, you will find in your semester 2, nowadays you are very much aware of that, you are doing in your financial accounting that ownership business, the trading account and profit and loss account of an owner. The 1%, the proprietorship business can also be nowadays conducted and can be operated in the corporate form in the form of OPC, 1% company. So in your classical types of different types of business in your 11-12 classes nowadays has been under the corporate style of business functioning. Partnership converted in the concept of LLP. Many LLP firms are introduced in the last 1.5 decade in India. And apart from that, various 1% company are nowadays starting their functioning registered in the ROC. Now, in your semester 1 syllabus, you should remember for your upcoming examination that basic difference between the partnership firm and LLP. The LLP is governed by the 2008 and it is registers of company which actually administers and managed. And the idea of LLP is through the LLP agreement. So please remember these two words. LLP agreement is the basic document through which LLP is managed and governed, and it is operated by the government through registers of the company. Registration not compulsory. In case of partnership, you are already aware of that, but it is preferred, and sometimes by registration, partners enjoy some specific benefits. And in case of LLP, no question of unregistering, so compulsory registration is required. Then legal status. This is very important. LLP has separate legal status apart from the partners. But in case of partnership, that is not prevail. And another, succession ownership of assets, you will find LLP would not be affected on change in partnership perpetual succession. But in ownership of asset, LLP can own asset in its own name. And for LLP, a designated partner is very important. All the points are not given in this presentation. Designated partners is very important, and to be a designated partner, one must be a residential partner, and for that, a DPIN number is important, designated partner identification number. And few years back, the government of India amended the requirement of DPIN for designated partner. Nowadays, they can procure DIN number, director identification number, for a designated partner in a LLP. And law is silent about the position of the minor in the LLP. LLP also silent about the maximum number of partners. I give you the idea in the next presentation. And in next, that you'll find Indian Partnership Act 1932, Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act defines partnership in the following terms. This is again a very simple definition. Please remember for your upcoming examination. It is the relation between person. When in your English literature between introduced, that means it minimum two. You cannot exchange thoughts or ideas within we. So it must be between person. Between means minimum two person who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. This is the basic idea and spirit of the partnership. And I unfortunately find that many leading textbooks not given the true number, the maximum number of partners in their book. So please remember that maximum number of partnership firm nowadays in India is 50 and minimum is 2. Okay? রাজা শোনা যাচ্ছে তো পরিষ্কার?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Okay, ঠিক আছে। Actually, the 50 numbers not specified by the Indian Partnership Act 1932. It is governed by or directed by the Section 464 of the Companies Act 2013, which empowers the central government to prescribe maximum number of partners in a firm. Actually, this number is 100. Maximum number of partners prescribed by the 464 is 100. But the number of partners prescribed cannot be more than 50. The central government has prescribed maximum number of partners in a firm to be 50 via Rule 10 of the Companies Rules 2014. So, actual provision is 100, but this 100 is restricted by the rules given in the 2014, which specified a partnership firm cannot have more than 50 numbers. So for MCQ purpose, the maximum number of partners cannot be more than 30, 40, 20. The answer should be, there cannot be more than 50 members. But in Limited Liability Partnership Act mandates a minimum 2 partners, but there is no limit regarding the maximum number of partners, as the act is silent in this regard. Okay, so for MCQ purpose, again, you should remember minimum number 2, the maximum number not specified. Okay, now some brief idea about the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Negotiable instruments play an important role in financial transaction, and it is a signed written document. Okay, so please remember, it's a signed written document. The purpose of this document is to transfer the specific amount of money to the assigned person, to the assigned person. Now, what are the features of negotiable instrument? Again, it's again important for your MCQ purpose, very important. The features are movable, it should be, rather it must be signed and written document. Time must be definite. After 3 months or after 7 days, you are paying that, and specified person. Okay, that is very, very important. That is also you are aware in your accounting syllabus in your bill of exchange chapter. Now, the three basic types of uh, negotiable instrument which are included in your syllabus. Section 4 gives you an idea of promissory note. Section 5, bill of exchange, and Section 6, the check. Apart from that, various, you can note it down, various parties associated with promissory note, bill of exchange, and check is very important. I repeat again, various parties associated with promissory note, bill of exchange, and check is very important. Next, the different types of bill of exchange, checks, promissory notes is again important for your exam purpose. Promissory notes defined in section 4, the very simple idea I am just given in their presentation. This transaction generally takes place between the debtor and the creditor. Creditor is also known as in legal literature as payee. The debtor, the maker, creates the instrument promising the amount of money on specified date. Okay. Next, the bill of exchange. This is just the opposite of the promissory note, as this is an order from the creditor to the debtor. Here, the creditor, also known as drawer, makes the instrument that instructs the debtor to drawee to pay the payee a certain amount of money. The bill is created by the creditor. And finally, the check. This is just one of the forms of bill exchange. In this case, the drawee is a bank and such checks are payable on demand. The bank is instructed by the debtor to pay certain amount to the assigned payee. Apart from that, promissory notes, bill of exchange, and check, uh, endorsement is very important for your upcoming examination. And we are already aware of that, the concept of endorsement. Sometimes we are endorsing the bill to another party. So the endorsement concept is very important, and discharge of the negotiable instrument. And apart from that, the last presentation of this curriculum is the Unit 5, that is Consumer Protection Act. And I am giving you the special emphasis on this area because I am finding that various books are not included 2019. So I am giving you the very specific idea, and I expect that this presentation will help you a lot for preparing your final examination. The consumer, the concept is very classical and old concept. This is not a very new concept introduced by the Act. The father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said that a consumer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are on him. He is not an interruption to our work. He is the purpose of it. We are not doing a favor to a consumer by giving him an opportunity. He is doing us a favor by giving us opportunity to serve him. But the idea of Gandhi is not followed in all the spectrum, but this the spirit of the definition. I personally feel the backbone of the introduction of the Consumer Protection Act. It was earlier introduced in the year 1986, and after uh, almost 3 decades, it introduced the concept of Consumer Protection Act in 2019. Now, the why this is essential, because in the last 2 decades we observed that different technological development. Nowadays, we are uh, experiencing the e-commerce, the digital platform, Swiggy, Zomato, Flipkart, Amazon, and many more. And the concept of market, it was previously the definition of the market is a place where buyers and sellers are interact. Now we are defining that market is a system through which buyers and sellers are interact. So the physical term also include physical, along with the physical term, the digital platform introduced. So the idea of the consumer, the idea of the seller, product and services change a lot in the last few years. So it is very essential, and it is the need of the hour to amend the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Now I'm giving you the brief idea of the Consumer Protection Act, and the last para is very important for your exam purpose. So I am giving you the highlighted area that this act actually enacted provide for the better protection of the information Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, 1986. The act was amended several times in the last 3 decades. Now it's include the Jammu